Alright guys, it's now predictions time right here as we get geared up for match day 3 in the Canadian Premier League. And it's pretty exciting. We're already in match day 3. Got some clubs playing their third match as well as their second match in the league here. And there's actually a lot of matches we're going to cover today. There's about 5 matches. We're going to cover 2 midweek as well as 1 Saturday and 2 on the Sunday there. So let's get things started with Forge FC versus Pacific FC. Forge FC is coming into some must-win situations here down the stretch of the spring season. They got to win pretty much 6 of the last 8 matches, and it all starts with this home match against PFC. The only problem is PFC is going to get McNaughton back from suspension. Star Surik should be coming back from possible injury that, he kind of was benched in the last game, didn't play. Played in the first match really well, so he'll be back and definitely help their back four for Pacific FC and improve them overall. And PFC's midfield has actually been really young but also really impressive in the first 2 matches versus a Forge FC team that's looking like they're kind of not in the right form right now. They got a draw in the first match, looked good at the end of that one, but last weekend against Halifax they just looked a little bit off the whole game despite owning possession of the ball. So maybe at home things could change. It's kind of hard. I think this is kind of a tough 50-50 game. Both of them are possession type teams, so possession's probably out the window for this one. I think it's going to end in a 1-1 draw in Forge FC's home match. Next up is Cavalry FC versus Valour FC. Valour FC versus Cavs. I think this is going to be a great matchup here in Calgary. Both these teams are, looking pretty good so far this season. I mean, you got Cavalry, who only played the 1 match on Saturday, but it was at home, which they'll be at home for this match here. And it looks pretty good against York versus, a Valour side that looks actually pretty good in both matches, including the home opener on Saturday, which they lost 2-1, unfortunately, to Edmonton. But at the same time, Valour did look pretty good. They owned most of that match in that game. So even though they lost, they shrug it off. They're going to come into Calgary here, hoping to pull off a big win and a big 3 points here against a pretty, offensive, dynamic, and fun watching Cavalry FC here. So I think it's going to be a pretty good match between the 2 clubs. I think it's going to be fun and entertaining and exciting. So you're going to want to watch it. At the same time, I don't think it's going to be that high of a scoring match because both sides are pretty even overall, I think, and it's going to end in a 1-1 draw. Next up is Valour FC hosting the HFX Wanderers. So the Wanderers looked like they had a bit of a tough time last time on the road, and maybe the whole 4-hour time difference did play a factor in this one. But in this next matchup on the road, it's going to be in Winnipeg, so it's about a 2-hour time difference, which I don't know if that would play a huge factor in the time of, and also the time of day too. It's an earlier start. It's about 2:30 Central Time, which is about 4:30 Atlantic Time there. But I think that could play a factor in Halifax. But I think on the other side of the ball, Valour FC is coming in here playing their 4th match in 11 days, in the first 11 days of May. So maybe that could add some more tired legs for Valour FC. Maybe they start to push their depth and play some more of their depth players in this matchup against Halifax. I think Halifax, to me, still looks like it's a bit of a, the Wanderers still look like they're a bit of a work in progress. I don't think they're, at their top level yet. Whereas I think, Valour is looking pretty darn good. I think they're looking overall like one of the better sides in the Canadian Premier League. And I think the Wanderers still have a few more levels to go before they can reach what I think their full potential could be this season. So with saying all that, I think, that and Pereira coming in, and he'll probably start for Wanderers. Played last weekend. They have the full week off here to train and to have him a little bit more healthier for this coming weekend. I think he'll play in the match. I think he, makes a bit of a difference in this match. But I think at the end of the day, Valour's going to be at home. They're going to own possession of the match as well. And they're going to be at home. The home crowd's going to give them that boost and that energy they're going to need down the stretch of that match, of the long 90-minute match. And I think they're going to be able to pull off a 2-1 victory. Forge FC hosting Cavalry FC. So this next match here is going to be taking place in Hamilton, and again with Forge FC still in that must-win situation. As I predicted earlier in the video, I think their midweek match will be a 1-1 draw against PFC. I think this match is going to be another big one. They have to pull off the win to get at least 4 points in these 2 matches at home. But, they're playing against a really good Cavalry FC team. The Cavs are coming in, look like that high-powered offensive team that we kind of all expected. And they looked really good in that first match, and I do predict they get a 1-1 draw in their midweek match coming into this one. They're going to look hungry in their first road match as well. They're going to want to win, and they're looking like they could be in some good form coming into this match versus Forge FC, who are kind of all over the place. I don't think they're in the best of form. As well as I think their back end needs to improve, especially against an offensive threat like the Cavs here. So I think at the end of the day, it's going to be rough. It's going to be tough. I think the Cavs are going to own possession of the match, And I think you're going to see a Forge FC, a hungry Forge FC that's going to be desperate for a win, play a little bit grittier, a little bit of chippier, a little bit harder, and maybe get a few yellows, possibly a red. I hope Kyle Becker, for Forge's sake, can step up for this big match, as well as Emery Welshman up front, and even Chris Nanko. And I think one of their best players so far this year has been Tristan Borges. So I think he needs to continue to play at that top level that he has been in the first couple matches here for Forge FC. But at the end of the day, I think a 2-0 win for the Cavs over Forge FC. So sorry for Hamilton fans, but I think the Cavs are going to come away with a 2-0 win. FC Edmonton hosting Pacific FC. So the final matchup of the weekend here is FC Edmonton hosting Pacific FC. And in this one, I think it's going to be a really good, fun matchup, and I think Pacific FC will have possession of the ball. But like I said in my ups and downs video last week, possession isn't everything, especially when you're playing FC Edmonton. I think last weekend, despite not having possession, they played really strong defense, and on the counterattack was able to score some goals. Whether they're deserving or lucky goals, it doesn't matter at the end of the day, as long as you get the W and you get the result. I think FC Edmonton here will get the result against Pacific FC. I think Pacific FC, will come in on the road, a little bit hungry, obviously, to try and get some points here and, get back in the winning mentality again. Like I predicted earlier in the video, I think they'll get a 1-1 draw in Hamilton against Forge FC, but I don't think they come away with any points in this one. I think FC Edmonton at home, with the home crowds behind them at Clark Stadium, I know they're going to be really well supported in that stadium and with those fans there. So I think that FC Edmonton will come out with a big win, big and convincing win, and they'll finish with a 2-0 win over Pacific FC. Alright guys, so that was my predictions for match day 3. Let me know your predictions down in the comment section below. And of course, if you like this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up, that like button. Shows me you like videos just like this. And if you want to see more content just like this, maybe consider hitting that red subscribe button. And if you hit that little bell notification right beside it, you actually get notified each and every week when I drop a brand new episode just like this one. And of course, you can also watch my videos over at northernstarting11.com. I have a link for that website down in the description below, so you're going to want to click that now. There's a bunch of great soccer related podcasts and vlog videos just like myself over at that website by Canadians for Canadians, just like the Canadian Premier League. So you're going to want to check it out right now. And thank you guys so much for watching.